I'm Peter Kourtz, and I have a small company that makes vertical windmills for gardens and shorelines that will slowly rotate in the wind and give you hours and hours of very enjoyable viewing. I make the machines in this shop, which we will show you, and the machines are all made from new metal. So this is one of 12 pieces that we're going to round. To finish it off, I will use the grinder. The grinder can round those curves very nicely. So you'll see that there's quite an elaborate process, and it took me a few years to figure out how to do this. I focused on steel to make these types of machines, because of that I've had to get special equipment and develop my own methods of creating this. And one of the things I've done is created a roll forming machine. You can see how it's creating the trough, and so that's what we end up with. Once again, it's a manual machine, and every time I do this, you can see the metal is slightly bending. It takes me the better part of a week to build a machine like this. Now the English wheel is an ancient tool that was developed over 100 years ago, and it was originally, its biggest use was making car fenders. So once again, it's a manual machine, so that's very, very close to what we want. To be manually under control the amount of band that I put in this. So that's probably as close as I can get. That would be welded right in there, a permanent weld. The bearings, and the key to all of these wind machines are the bearings. Without good bearings, the machines will not turn, and my machines have to turn winter and summer. Now, the hub is a difficult thing to make. This lathe is a 1941 Logan lathe. It's called a turret lathe because of the high speed of switching the tools. Not for high speed production here, but so when I start this solid piece, which is cut off of that longer bar that I just showed, that goes into the bandsaw. That's the piece that I want. This is an old-fashioned lathe, so it's belt run. I start off with a small drill bit and then a larger drill bit. Most people have never seen a lathe cut like this. They're used to the drill bit itself turning. So there are 12 of these that have to be made for this particular machine. Once again, the old blacksmith equipment comes in very handy. Now I'm going to come down and try to hit that spot. So the next step then is to thread that. So this cuts the thread. So, and at that point, it'll take the screw if we're lucky. I would set that up on my vise and weld it exactly in the right place. You have to keep the rain off the bearings on all these machines, and I make these in my house, in my office on a 3D printer. These are vertical windmills, so it doesn't matter which direction the wind comes from, it'll still work. as opposed to horizontal windmills, which have to have the propeller pointed directly into the wind. The upper set of 6 will go in opposite direction to the lower set, which will give you a very interesting optical effect. This machine will work very well at very low wind speeds. The slightest wind will cause this to rotate. The wind machines that I make, I try to keep them running slowly. You don't want to make a wind machine that turns very fast, because it's not very artistic.